Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm excited to share a few projects with you using the Spellbinders card kit of the month. This is for April 2023. It's called Happy Skies Ahead. These are now called the Quick and Easy card kits. And we're going to jump in and create some quick and easy cards. I took everything out of the bag that it comes in. And this month the kit is called Happy Skies Ahead. I'm going to go over what's in it real quick and then we're going to create some cards. You get double-sided adhesive, a whole roll of tape, and then some foam tape. As always, you get some puffy foam stickers, banners, and sentiments. I love the colors. You also get a pretty good sized bag of confetti. I'm calling it confetti because there's no holes in it. And it looks like there's a few different sizes in there, which is nice. You get a die cut pack. And I'm seeing 2 of each in the die cut pack. You get 8 card bases. They're A2 side folding. They're 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. And then you get a V flap envelope that will fit those perfect. What I'm loving are the alphabet chipboard stickers. These have a little bit of a gold diagonal to them. It's very subtle, but I just love these. And you get lots of letters, and then you get some borders too down here, which are nice. And then full borders over here. Numbers too. So, love the stickers in here. You also get some chipboard stickers. You get two panels, the front and the back. And then you get some cardstock. Let's go ahead and see what kind of cardstock. There are there's 5 different colors. You get a pink. This is a light pink, a very like a Kelly green, light blue, dark blue, or light blue, bright blue. How about that? And you get 4 A2 panels of each one. So there's 20 in here in total. And then you get pattern papers. They're single-sided. And it looks like you get a huge variety. I'm not going to go through all of them. But my favorite, I love the color palette of this. And there's tons of papers in here. You can see how thick that is. So that's everything in the kit. I'm going to trim down some papers and we're going to make some cards. We're going to go ahead and get started with our first card, but before we do, I do want to mention that usually when I make my cards with the card kits and it includes pattern paper, I usually go with the theme and I select a few and create just using those few pattern papers. Today, these were 6x6 sheets. I already trimmed them down for my projects, but these are the patterns that I'm going to be using. Just these 4. And so I just wanted to give you a heads up with that. There's lots of beautiful pattern papers, but I kind of like to coordinate my projects. So jumping in, I'm going to bring in my Spellbinders Postage Edge die set. And I thought we would create a shaker card today. This is going to work out perfectly because I can take, let me take this out. I can take, this has a dotted detail on the edge. I can take this here and then take the next smaller dotted detail and create a frame with it. But I'm going to go one step further and take this, and then I'll take some of this pattern paper. Let me show you. I want to create a thin frame using these dies. So a white frame with this, and then I will take the smallest, layer it in here, and die cut out a thin frame using this pattern paper. And we will shake it up a little bit today. We'll start with this one. Now I'm ready to create my shaker. This is the frame that it created. You know, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the outside of my frame. We'll do that first. And I'm just going to use my glue. So we have that fun dotted detail, and then we have that postage edge. I'll flip this around. I'm going to add a thin bead of glue behind here. And then I did trim down a piece of acetate that will fit behind here. I'm using the Spellbinders acetate sheets. Let me show you. Works really good. And I'll leave Well, I'll leave a link for that down below too. Usually if you use glue, you want to make sure that that glue is pretty far away from the edge. Otherwise you could get it on your acetate. We're going to flip this around. I'm going to use some very thin foam strips. I'll put it behind here, and this is going to be the backer for our shaker. And I think that's the right amount. Now I'm going to be using this, I mentioned, as my background panel, but since this is a large area where to shake, I know all my sequins are going to fall down to the bottom. So just to add a little extra color towards the top, I'm going to add some sequins in the upper area of this panel. That way we have a little more balance, since these are copper. I thought we would spread out the color here. I think that will work out good. Just kind of sporadically put it up there. I'm going to take my pattern paper, I'm going to flip it around, and we're going to just place it right over that foam adhesive. And that's just what I love. Okay, we're going to go ahead and finish up by adding a piece of this pattern paper. This measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. I've been writing them on my pattern paper only because my shaker is going to cover that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. We'll adhere this. To embellish my shaker, we're going to do something a little bit fun. Now I am bringing in some diagonal striped pattern paper. I think the black and white go really good with the bright colors that I'm going to be using today. And then I have this is a 1/2 inch strip. And then I also have a strip that's a little bit over 1/4 inch. And it's, well, it's a little bit longer than, it's about a 6 inch strip of white cardstock. I thought we would use the puffy stickers that are in our kit this month. And I thought we would create a banner using some of the sentiments. We're going to add brilliant. I'm going to leave the ends open a little bit. We'll add brilliant and wonderful. I'm just going to evenly space them. I can actually trim this off. And then we'll take the end of beautiful and we'll put it on this side. Just so we have a full strip of encouraging sentiments. I'm going to flip this around, add some glue behind it. And then this is where my diagonal stripe paper comes in. I'm going to just adhere this right down the middle. You can see kind of what kind of pops. This is going to go at a diagonal like I mentioned. Now I have 2 of our ephemera pieces. I chose 2 on purpose because I like to mention what we're going to do is layer them together. But to layer them together, before we do that, I'm going to take one of them and using a circle punch, I'm going to punch out the sentiment that says simply the best. And then I'll take this piece and I want a double banner on the bottom. We'll overlap them like so. And I'll flip this around and we're going to bring in some foam squares. I'm going to layer this back in the home here. But now we have a little bit of dimension. And I'll flip this around and we'll add this on our card. And that will finish off my first card. For my next card, I used the same postage edge dies and created a background panel. I like the pierced detail that's on here, and this is a card front size. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this directly to my card base. And then I have a panel that measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. We're going to layer this right on top of here. This panel measures 4 inches and a little less than 3 inches. I did that intentional. And then I'm bringing back my striped paper. I'm going to add a thin bead of glue along the left side of this panel. And then we're going to add a thin stripe right along the edge here. For this panel, we're going to be using some chipboard stickers. And I thought we would fill the background with the number circles. We're going to create a birthday card. So evenly spacing these and going down, I'm going to add these. Now you notice I kind of went out of order. I did that because I didn't want 2 of the same colors close to each other. And so just mix and match your numbers until you think they look good. And I did use the 2 extra sentiment ones, putting the smile in the corner that today we'll probably cover. I'm going to go ahead and put this off to the side. And now we're going to bring in our alphabet chipboard. Love these. And then I have a 1-inch strip of white cardstock. I want to take the letters H, B, 2, U. And we're going to create a tag with this. We'll just evenly space these. You may want to reinforce these with some glue. Wonderful. I'm going to turn this into a tag. To do that, it's very easy. I'm going to go ahead and trim off the top. And then I'm going to just cut the corners. And then we have a nice birthday tag. Now I'm going to bring in my crocodile. I'm going to punch a hole. Well, I smushed the snot out of that eyelet. But I'm going to roll with it. I'm not going to hold it up because it's blurry, but somehow I had the wrong adjustments on here. And I think it's locking up on me. Here we go. And I just destroyed it, but I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to go ahead and cover that horrible eyelid up with some black and white baker's twine. And hopefully I can disguise it. I'm going to go ahead and thread this through. I like to loop it, thread it through the back. Wow, we hit it for the most part. Not so bad. You can still see a little bit of the pink. Okay, I'm going to put my alphabet off to the side. I'm going to add some glue to my pop-up foam that's slightly smaller than my numbered panel here. Do we want to add a border before we do that? Let's add a scallop. I'm going to bring in, yes, let's add a scallop. I'm going to bring in one of the scallop borders on our, we have short ones and long ones. I'm going to take the long one and I'm going to add some adhesive behind here. I'm going to tack down a border here. We're going to add some glue behind the pop-up foam. Take our panel now that it has the border and we'll adhere this to the center of our card. And then I'm going to add some foam squares behind our tag. And I'm going to place this at an angle, kind of overlapping, and then I'll tie it bow with this. And that finishes card 2. For my next card, I'm going to take this postage edge we created with the same postage edge dies using this one. I just cut it out with white cardstock, and then I have some of the leftover strips from our other card projects. I'm going to layer them together on here. These are going to fit right in the postage edge, and they measure 2 and a little more than 2 1/4 inches wide. I have a few die cut elements, a few ephemera pieces, the 2 little orange drinks. It looks so refreshing. I'm going to go ahead and add those to a piece of vellum. This is a 2 1/4 inch circle of vellum. I'm going to crisscross them, overlapping them. And we'll add these. I do want to pop it up with some foam tape. We'll add our refreshing drinks to our vellum. And then I'll flip over our vellum. And then I'm going to tack this down so it's overhanging on the edge here. Like so. I have a flower too. I'm going to add a small foam squirt behind. We'll add that in just a minute. I do want to create a sentiment. I added my sentiment covering up the seam of both those pattern papers and tucking it under here. Wonderful. Now before we add it to our card base, I'm going to bring in some of that black and white baker's twine. You see how just makes those colors pop? I'm going to wrap it around a couple times. Kind of crisscrossed it. I kind of like that look. I might have to adjust it just a little bit. I'm going to scoot it over a bit. And then I'll remove the release paper off of our flower. I think this is like an orange blossom. And I'm going to add this to the bottom of my drink there. For this card, I'm going to bring in a few sequins. For the center of this flower, I'm going to bring in some of my Onyx Color Essential Gems. And we're just going to add a few to the flower of the center, kind of spreading out that black. These make great eyeballs for critters too, because they're so small. Okay, I think that's 6 was the perfect amount. And that finishes off my third project for today. So these are the 3 cards that we made today with the Spellbinders Quick and Easy card kit of the month for April 2023. The card kit is called, let me double check it here, it's called Happy Skies Ahead. And I love kits like this because there's so much you can do with them. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.